Polar Bears vs. Extinction by Anissa, Mia, and Amanda. Our topic was the effects that global warming has on polar bears. Global warming affects the polar bears by reducing the species and endangering them. We also studied the effects that greenhouse gases had on the polar ice. The reason why we chose this topic is because we want people to be informed of the causes that global warming has on the polar bear species.
Webster's dictionary defines global warming as an increase in the Earth's atmospheric and oceanic temperatures. It is widely assumed to occur due to an increase in the greenhouse effect, and it is believed to be a result of pollution. On our planet, glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, and it is clear that humans have caused most of what is considered global warming. As the Earth spins each day, new heat swirls with it, picking up moisture from the oceans. Global warming is changing the rhythms of climate that all living things have come to rely upon. Temperatures in the Arctic are rising twice as fast as they are in the rest of the world. That means that the ice is getting much thinner, and this is causing problems for the animals and organisms that live there. Humans are the main cause of global warming, and it is worse now more than ever. In the past 150 years, the human population has grown over 5 times, and each year 70 million more people are added to the population. It's not just more people that's the problem. Each person is consuming more energy than ever before. The fact is, every one of our basic needs is dependent on fossil fuels: water, food, and of course gasoline. We use fossil fuels for everything. Our country is addicted to oil. Americans as a whole consume 300 to 600 times more energy than people in poorer nations. Much concern exists within the scientific community about global warming, the main cause of which is an accumulation of heat-trapping gases in the atmosphere. These gases constitute about 1% of the Earth's atmosphere, the rest being comprised of nitrogen and oxygen. In spite of the very low concentrations of these secondary gases, they are responsible for trapping heat in our atmosphere, stabilizing temperatures at Earth's surface, and changing life as we know it.
Polar bears are marine mammals that live in the Arctic and Alaskan regions of the Northern Hemisphere. The scientific name is Ursata, and they belong to the Animalia kingdom and the phylum Chordata. These polar bears have evolved from the brown bear ancestry. These mammals can be found in 5 nations of the world: United States, Canada, Russia, Greenland, and Norway. They feed primarily on seals, but they sometimes on whale carcasses. These basic adaptations help the polar bears to survive in their cold region in which they live. However, the most important resources that they need in their life to survive is a source of sea ice that helps them in their daily lives. Polar bears use the sea ice for many resources in their daily lives, as well as their survival in this world. The sea ice is important for the following: hunting, mating, traveling, and becoming homes for when mothers are pregnant. The ice helps the polar bears hunt as animals such as seals and walruses when they come up into the shallow ice for air, which is where the polar bears are waiting patiently for their prey. But with the decline of ice melting, it has become hard for the polar bears to hunt on the shallow ice, which therefore forces the polar bears to hunt on stable ice, which does not provide a stable food supply. The female polar bears, when they are pregnant, produce 2 cubs that will rely on their mother's milk to survive the harsh winter for food. Also, they need her for warmth to keep them from getting cold. The polar bear cubs only have a small survival rate, which is 50-50% chance. Now, with the ice melting, the polar bear's rates are going down for survival. With the polar bear cubs not surviving to adulthood, it lowers the chances for more polar bears to be produced to increase the rate of polar bears. Over the years, the number of polar bears have decreased rapidly. The number of polar bears that still remain in the world are estimated to be approximately 22,000. Due to the rapid rates of decreasing number of polar bears, these animals have been placed in endangered species since 2008.
There are many ways that we humans can cause global warming. One example is our own natural human activities, such as planting a tree. A single tree will absorb 1 ton of carbon dioxide over its lifetime. Shade provided by trees can also reduce your air conditioning bill by 10 to 15%. Another example is to reduce waste. Most products we buy can cause greenhouse gas emissions in one or another way. For example, during production and distribution. By taking your lunch in a reusable lunchbox instead of a disposable one, you save the energy needed to produce new lunchboxes. Last example is to drive carefully without wasting fuel. You can reduce carbon dioxide emissions by readjusting your driving style. Choose proper gears, do not abuse the gas pedal, use the engine brake instead of the pedal brake when possible, and turn off your engine when your vehicle is motionless for more than 1 minute. By readjusting your driving style, you can save money on both fuel and car maintenance. For example, is the main source of excess greenhouse gases, such as driving cars or even heating our homes with oil or natural gases like carbon dioxide. The last example that can cause global warming is electrical pollution, such as fossil fuels. But there are other ways to stop global warming as well, like recycling, which can also help save energy. Also, factories cause lots of smog, which is pollution that affects the atmosphere and adds to global warming. Ways we can help is talking to your local congressman about passing laws that can help the environment and save the environment. We should also be spreading the word of what global warming is doing to reduce the rate of polar bears. Also know that now that we know that we add to the effect of global warming, now we should step forward and help stop it from increasing. Because if this continues, then by the year 2030, scientists predict that polar bears will be extinct. It's not just the polar bears that are in danger, it's also polar life. If we don't do something soon, polar life will cease to exist as we know it.
In conclusion, polar bears are an endangered species, and it is mostly our fault. We as humans have come so far. There is so much new technology at our fingertips, which is great, but with all that new technology comes more energy usage, which leads to pollution and the greenhouse effect and other bad things for the environment. There's so many things we could and should be doing to help save not only the polar bears, but all living things as well. Global warming is a serious issue and people need to start caring more about it. Because of the economy, the issue of global warming was put on the back burner for a few years, which is not good. Lately, being green has been seen as almost cool. This is great news for everybody because the more people who reduce, reuse, and recycle, the better it is for everyone involved. Thanks for listening, and 7 minutes.